Everyone, so today's video is going to be a little bit of a kind of funny, tongue-in-cheek kind of video. Don't take it too personally, don't take it too seriously. It's just something that's kind of been playing on my mind a little bit recently and that I wanted to chat to you about. Sorry, my phone just flashed over there. And that is annoying things that people say to pregnant women. Now, this is my first pregnancy. This is my first child. I've never done this before. It's not something that I've ever, to be honest, particularly occupied my mind with. I don't think I've ever necessarily had a conversation with anybody who's been pregnant about any of these things. But it's something that I think is quite amusing. So let's get started. Number one, people constantly commenting about how big or small your bump is. Newsflash. None of your business. There is no such thing as an abnormally large bump or a tiny bump unless you know that person's like physical anatomy. You don't know what that person's kind of like on the inside unless like your midwife is concerned by how big you're measuring. Ignore people. And people will constantly want to tell you that you're either tiny or massive, or tell you that you're carrying low, you're carrying high, or just constant like running commentary about your body, and it's like it just becomes fair game because you're with child. It's a little bit unpleasant, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I'm sure people mean well as well. People are not trying to be dicks. They mean well, but it's just annoying. Number two is people constantly wanting to touch your bump. Oh my god, this is absolutely infuriating. Literally, nothing drives me more insane than constantly having people wanting to touch my stomach. I do not understand why people want to do that. I'm not talking about like your partner, that's fine. Or sort of like, you know, just, I don't know, just literally your partner and that's about it. Like nobody else needs to do it. The amount of people that will come up to me that are people that I don't know that well and who will go up and start to touch my stomach. And it's like, A, what are you trying to feel? Like you can't even feel like kicking or anything like that going on at this point anyway from the outside, so just fine. B, did I like tell you that I wanted you to just touch my stomach? It's just such a weird thing. And again, people are trying to be kind and they're trying to be lovely when they're doing it, but it is just so unpleasant. It's like, I really don't get that. I don't think I've ever done that to anybody else in my life. If it's like your sister or somebody like that, then like, I don't know, just ask. Maybe just ask if it's okay. Be like, oh, can I have a feel? People will say yes or no. What I've started doing is I will make Paul say, oh no, she doesn't like it, do you? She barely lets me touch it. And then it's kind of like a joke and people back off then. That's what I've started doing because I just don't want like the delivery man who delivers the drinks for us at the restaurant to touch my stomach. I just don't want him to. Just no. So yeah, that's number two. Number three is people trying to give you birth advice constantly. Or shall I rephrase that by saying unsolicited birth advice? I'm all for people telling you their great kind of birthing stories. I really would love to hear that. But what I don't think is okay is people constantly wanting to tell you about their horrendous birth stories. Why? Why would you do that to somebody who's never done this before, who's probably really nervous about doing it, who doesn't know how it's going to go? Why would you do that? Literally, I'll find out eventually anyway because this baby's going to have to come out. I don't need you to tell me that you had so many stitches. You miscarried 15 times. You had to have an episiotomy. You had such a giant baby that you were in labour for like 15 years and then in the end it was born and it was the size of an elephant. Just, no. Like, I don't understand why people find that helpful. And it's really actually quite traumatizing and upsetting when people do that. And obviously it's only ever other women who tend to do that rather than men because they've never experienced it. It's other women who want to tell you these horror stories and it's just like, please can you not? I don't really need to know that. If that happens to me, then like, oh my God, I'm really sorry that it happened to you. I'm really sorry if it'll happen to me. I don't want to know about it now. Like, by all means, be informed, be educated. That's amazing. But no more than that. Then the next one that we have, what were we on? Did I say 3 already? Or a rest of 4? I can't actually remember what I said because I do slightly have pregnancy brain. What I like to blame it on anyway. Next one, whatever, number one. Is people who want to constantly guess if you're having a girl or a boy. Again, people are trying to be kind, they're being like joyful or whatever, but what I find fascinating is they seem to be absolutely convinced by their answer. Now I know what I'm having, I know that I'm having a girl. I knew that I was having a girl all along because I just had a feeling. The amount of people that would randomly guess, but then make out like for ages their guess was actually correct. So I had somebody that I knew who was convinced I was having a boy, and she would constantly say like, he, this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you know, like your son will blah, 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 blah. And it was just like, I don't know who this son that you're referring to is because we don't know what it is yet. So just stop it. Then the next one as well. People making insensitive comments once you do find out the gender of your baby. Now, this kind of comes in 2 parts because another thing I find quite annoying is people who chose not to find out the gender of their baby and who seem to feel very, very strongly about not finding out. It's fine if you don't want to find out. I think that's amazing self-restraint. I wish I had that kind of self-restraint. Sadly, I do not. And I chose to find out. But for weeks on end, every time people would ask, I would then get this big lecture about that you should wait and it's the best surprise in life. And, oh, why are you finding out? Oh, you're ruining it. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, this is like concerns you how? It's just kind of not really something that I think people get to have an opinion on. You don't want to find out, don't find out. You don't want to find out, do find out. I literally I don't have any opinion about people not finding out. So I don't understand why people who do choose to not find out have an opinion about people who do find out. They don't know that we know that they know that we know. It's that, isn't it? But then the other part of that is people who want to kind of express their view on their happiness / disappointment about the gender of your baby. So somebody actually did say to me when I said that I was having a girl, oh, better luck next time. 100% they were joking. It was a joke. It's not a very funny joke. It's not really a very nice joke. It's not really a very funny joke. Just don't really say anything at all. That's like somebody saying if they're having a boy and me being like, oh, too bad. You wouldn't say that. It's a really, really odd kind of mentality with that. I don't quite get it. It is a joke. People mean well. I'm sure people don't mean to come across as not nice when they say that, but yeah, I find it a bit ugh. And also, I come from a family that is predominantly girls. There's a lot of girls and kind of everywhere in our family. It obviously is just a slightly more dominant gene. I think a lot of people don't realise as well that, by the way, it's the sperm that determines the gender of the baby. It's to do with like the different X and Y chromosomes. You don't physically control the gender of your baby. Your partner's sperm does. So to be honest, it's their fault. But we're predominantly girls, and so when I did find out I was a girl, number one, I wasn't surprised because I sort of had a feeling. Number two, probability kind of says that, even though it is 50-50, kind of there is a little bit of probability in there. So I did have kind of family members in a very nice, jokingly manner sort of say, oh, but it's about time for a boy, you know, next. And oh, it's a shame that there's not so many boys in our family. Oh, boy this, about a boy that, whatever. And it's like, what do you, like, shall I send her back and be like, sorry, I actually wanted a boy? That's not how it works, number one. Number two, I'm more than happy I'm having a girl. I'm ecstatic I'm having a girl. I would be equally as ecstatic if I was having a boy, but little girls are so cute. and their clothes are so cute, and I'm so girly that it's kind of like, I don't know, it just goes, do you know what I mean? And I think especially for your first child, I would like to have a boy and see what that's like, because I feel like it'd probably be an entirely different kind of parenting experience. But I'm not having a boy, I'm having a girl, and I'm perfectly happy about that. So yeah, but that's everything that I can think of. I'm sure there's loads more to do with like people giving you feeding advice and like annoying things that people tell new mums, but we won't go into that because I haven't got to that part yet. To look forward to. But yeah, something that should be taken with a pinch of salt. I am obviously kind of joking. I know that people mean well with all of these things. It's just a little bit sometimes like, okay, whatever. But yeah, let me know things that you think are annoying, things that people have said to you when you've been pregnant, or that you've heard, or just anything like that really. I'd like to know. And if you are somebody that's watching this and you know that you've said any of these things, please don't be offended like I'm saying that you're horrible. I'm not. I'm sure it does come from a really warm, loving place. And maybe it only annoys me. I don't know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon.